Welcome to Strategic Grouping. We're going to talk very briefly about some strategies to help us incorporate effective grouping into our professional development sessions. We're going to talk about heterogeneous groups and homogeneous groups. In a heterogeneous group, the participants would be mixed, and in a homogeneous group, the participants would be the same. For example, if you were working with a group of teachers and you wanted to group them by the subject area that they taught. In a heterogeneous group, you would place math teachers alongside with English teachers and perhaps science teachers, etc. All of the teachers' subject area would be mixed. That would be a mixed group. In a homogeneous group, you would place all of the math teachers in a group, all of the English teachers in a group, and all of the science teachers in a group. And there are reasons why we'd want to create heterogeneous groups, and there are reasons why we'd want to create homogeneous groups depending upon the situation within our professional development session. You may decide to group your participants by their level of product expertise, their level of comfort with technology, interest level, grade level, subject area, and you may come up with another way that you want to group your participants. And during certain professional development sessions, it may be more strategic to group them in heterogeneous grouping. And during another session, it may be more strategic to group them in homogeneous groups. And this really depends on your learning objectives and the participants that you have in your room. And you have to do some analysis early on to figure out what grouping may be better for you. For example, you may have a professional development workshop with 25 participants, and 20 of them have intermediate level um, product expertise, and you may only have 5 participants with beginner level product expertise. You may decide to group your participants in homogeneous groups or homogeneous pairs and work more closely with the group or groups that have beginner level expertise and let the other groups work a little bit more independently. And you may have another session, professional development session, where you have 30 participants and 10 of them are beginner level, 10 are experts, and 10 are intermediate, and you may decide to group them heterogeneously. So there's one expert in each group, and they can work and kind of coach the beginner level participant along. So it takes a little bit of thought and reflective practice, and you can, as you start to incorporate strategic grouping, if you're not doing so already, you can reflect on each professional development session, see what worked, within your heterogeneous groupings and your homogeneous groups and see how you can refine that for future professional development sessions. But strategic grouping is one way to really make the most out of your session so that one, participants are able to coach each other, and two, it allows you to kind of more effectively at times work more closely with certain groups as well. There are many strategic grouping activities or cooperative grouping activities that you could incorporate within your professional development sessions. Think, pair, share, jigsaw, roundtable discussions. Those are 3 very popular activities. And if you look online, you'll find many more. And within the limited framework of our course, we're not going to spend too much time exploring these activities, but we did want to point out a few to you as a resource. Just know that the important part is that you are designing time within your professional learning sessions for participants to work toward a mutual task, analyze, evaluate, create, ask each other questions, discuss, and create meaning from their learning experience. There are some standard cooperative learning best practices that you may decide to incorporate within your professional development sessions to ensure that your strategic groups are successful. And one is assigning roles. You may come up with roles and have each participant have an identified role that ensures that they are actively participating in the group. You could also come up with a list of group tenets, which encourages participants to value one another's ideas and listen very openly and actively to what each person in the group has to share and offer. You could also ask participants just to more casually record their findings. You could give them certain things to record, questions that they need to answer within their group so they have some accountability um, alongside the task on which they're working. And another best practice, and we point this out too for a best practice during guided practice, is to plan for a whole group share. After your groups are separate in their smaller groups, it's best practice to bring them back together for a whole group share Not each group has to share, and a lot of times that's just not possible within the limited time frame that we have during our sessions. But it's very helpful to ask for volunteers or to call on certain small groups to have them share so that the whole group can connect together and hear what some of the other groups have to offer.